Hi, I'm Jenna Stadler. In reflecting on what led me to consider a career in counseling, I think it was many things. Certainly, my cultural identity as a female encouraged supportive and nurturing characteristics that were already in my personality. Um, and my personal values aligned with counselor goals of being non-judgmental and supporting others. I think most importantly, though, I personally have had very positive experiences both in counseling and counseling others. In college, which was now a very long time ago, in the early 90s, a friend that I had been dating for a year was killed suddenly during spring break. I went into shock and depression. I simply did not have the coping skills to deal with this huge loss and terrible tragedy at 19 years old. I stopped going to class. I moved through my days like I was in a fog. And at this time, I started going to the college counseling center. I don't remember the counselor's name. I can remember what she looks like very clearly, though. And I remember she was encouraging, validating, she was kind, she was smart, and she really helped me in so many ways. And I think that that's when I started to take an active interest in psychology. I had dropped out of classes that semester, and then when I went back in the fall, I changed my major to psychology. I've been to counseling since that time, on and off throughout my life. I find it valuable and reconnecting to what's important to me. It helps me hone my coping skills depending on the stage of life that I'm in. I've been in sessions with great counselors, and I've been in sessions with counselors that were perfectly fine, but maybe not great. Um, I went to graduate school soon after college, again, a long time ago, for school psychology at the University of Delaware. And for the program, we had to complete 4 practicum. It was primarily doing testing, but we also had to do counseling as part of each practicum. And I remember entering the program thinking that I only wanted to do the psychoeducational testing, but I found that I really enjoyed the counseling. It simply fit better with my personality and seemed more practical and more helpful to me. Counseling in the schools is different. Um, Not that I've ever worked in a clinic or a hospital, but it's very educationally oriented. Um, and so you don't have many options to do counseling the same way as I expect to do in a clinic or in a hospital. So the closest that I actually got to counseling when I was in the schools was counseling this girl in middle school. And it was kind of a heartbreaking and a rewarding experience. She had a brother who'd been killed in a tractor accident during the summer before the year that I saw her. And I was so proud of her as the semester unfolded. I got to see her use the coping skills that we were working on. I got to see her become more outgoing and happier. It was kind of an amazing thing to be a part of. I only worked as a counselor for a year after graduate school, and then my career took a turn, and I started working for the College of New Jersey on curriculum design. It was like this great opportunity that I couldn't turn down, and I liked doing it. But from there, for the next 20 years, I did curriculum design, working for teachers, and I didn't get in touch with that counseling aspect again. And now that I'm returning to work and I had the opportunity to take some time off with my youngest daughter and really think about what is it that I would like to be when I grow up. And I'd like to return to that original interest and see if I'm any good at it. And I wanted to take a moment to share something with you. When I was applying to grad school, I reached out to some friends, and I'm going to do a screen share very quickly to show you what they said back to me. Sorry, please bear with me. Okay. I sent 8 friends a text that said, I'm writing an application essay for a counseling program. And I read an article on tips for writing the effective essay that suggested that I ask friends' opinions on whether I might make a good counselor. So, do you think I'd be a good therapist counselor, and why? And tell me, remember, this is for posterity, so be honest. It's just a silly quote from the Princess Bride movie. Well, all 8 friends sent me back texts that were so kind and nurturing and real. I won't, uh, you know, I won't read them all, obviously, because that would be painful for you. But just like in conversations, I've noticed that you are always sincerely interested in what's going on in my life. You have a way of getting people to open up and share things that they may not necessarily share with others. They just said things that seemed so legitimate, like they weren't just trying to make me feel good. They actually thought that I might be a good counselor, and it's what really built my confidence to apply for grad school to start with. Um, so anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Sorry. And I'm back. Okay, so for the next part, Um, so no, my family and friends did not talk about mental health growing up. I grew up in inner city Philadelphia, and it was not cool to show signs of weakness. It's probably not unique to inner city settings. So, but it was definitely a thing in inner city Philadelphia in the 80s. I do, however, remember one time that my family took us to a family therapy session. They were having a hard time with my brother. He was a very difficult child. He was suspended from the first grade 3 times. And I remember when we got there, we were sitting in a circle, and the counselor asked each person in my family why they were there and what they hoped to get out of counseling. And it was my turn. I said, I don't know why I'm here. My brother's having problems. The counselor asked if I wanted to leave, and I said, yeah. And I never had to go back. So it seems like a strange story for this, but this counselor had done me a huge favor. She pointed out that my brother's problems were not my problems, and this was absolutely not the message I was getting from my family and would continue to get. So this was a huge freedom for me to not be responsible for my brother. And it saved me a lot of guilt and baggage through a lifetime. And so I just wanted to share this 10 minutes that I spent with a counselor that really did me a huge favor for the rest of my life. Um, do I view counseling as an essential field? Yes, you can probably tell that by what I've already said. It's saved my bacon on several occasions. It's helped me in many ways. I think most people are not taught coping skills that will serve them throughout their lifetime. And I truly believe that counseling can help people not just through trauma, but to live fuller, richer lives. Um, my thoughts on how people change. Sorry, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. That's a tough one. I think people are born with a predisposition, but that everyone can improve. Everyone can practice more effective behaviors until they become natural. The counseling settings or populations that I'm interested in. Well, I'd like to work at a university. I really like that population at the start of their life, beginning to figure themselves out in the world. I think that that would be a great opportunity. I think I'd also enjoy a small clinic setting or a private practice. I'm particularly interested in learning more about working with clients with anxiety and depression. I'd also like to work with LGBTQ clients. I'm interested in learning more about how to work with different populations. And I'm interested in practicing from an acceptance and commitment therapy approach. I think that my theoretical approach would work well with clients with anxiety, depression, questioning gender, questioning sexuality. I think that it could be a good match from counselor client there. Skills that will help me in this field. Okay, so what does that include? basic good listening skills, respect for others, good communication skills. In addition, I think that you need to be flexible and be able to apply theory on the fly in a variety of circumstances, basically an ability to think on your feet. Skills that I hope to gain from this program. Well, I just started. This is my very first semester, so I have a ton to learn about the field, about applying theories, about trauma interventions. Um, and I hope to gather all that information. There are many misconceptions about the field and what a counselor actually does. I've seen this a lot. I think that is very, very common, maybe more common than not. I think that these misconceptions range from believing that a counselor can fix something, like, excuse me, like as though they had a magic wand that they could take out and just fix the way they feel or fix how things are going in their lives. And clearly, that's not how that works. And then I think that these misconceptions range to believing that a counselor just sits there and listens, and that it's essentially a waste of time because they could talk to an inanimate object and get the same thing from the experience. Um, I don't think that they understand what a counselor is bringing to the table and why. I think that given all of these situations and the spectrum of misperceptions, misconceptions, preconceived notions that people are bringing to this session each time, I think that it's vital to set expectations, to weed out what the client might be thinking and what they might expect from counseling, and whether they've been to counseling before and what their history has been with counseling. But I really look forward to learning how to set those expectations in first sessions and to maintain a good therapeutic relationship throughout. Oh, thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I hope you have a really good day. Thank you.